saw some leadership out there, and that was good.
Kirby, what do you have you talked to anybody about the possible weather this weekend, and if there is a chance that the game could be moved?
Yeah, I haven't really talked to anybody. I know I'm aware of the weather, obviously, but heard some different people said some different statements. But to be honest with you, we're just focused on getting ready on the game. And we had to talk as a team today. We had a team meeting to discuss just that our focus needed to be on preparing for the game, and that whatever happens, happens. That's really out of our control, and we're focused on preparing for it. So there's a lot of scenarios out there, none of which I really want to discuss because it's not really my call when it comes to that. I want to do what's right for the safety of the players and the safety of the people of South Carolina.
Assuming the game isn't Columbia, it sounded like it would be wind and rain regardless. I mean, what's the toughest part for a quarterback to be able to operate in those conditions?
It would be just that, the wind and the rain. It affects kicking game probably more than it does just the quarterbacks. I've always thought it affected the defensive players the most because they're reacting, and the offensive players know where they're going. So when you got to react, sometimes there's more slipping and sliding, but it really becomes a control the ball type deal. So we'll see what happens.
We saw them throwing wet balls out there. How'd they look?
I don't know. We videoed it. You tell me. Y'all watched it, right?
Did-
It was part of the plan, but I didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
So that's something that we always do about every 2 or 3 weeks, just in case we have to play in the rain. Of course, we had 2 scrimmages this year that were in the rain, but we try to throw wet balls because we may have to play with them.
Reggie Carter, and then we saw Chooks was with the inside guys.
Yeah.
What's that deal?
Reggie's dinged up, so Chooks is just getting some backup reps. He played there prior to insurance policy, making sure that we got enough inside backers should we need them. We don't know when Reggie yet is going to be able to play. We think he'll be able to play, but we couldn't practice today. We don't have enough inside backers to even function. Rashad's playing there, and he's doing a good job, but he's about 205 pounds. So.
Are you able to say who would be the third guy if Reggie's not able to play?
Yeah, it would be Rashad or Jawan, depending on which of the other 2 guys aren't in.
Okay.
So what's Reggie's injury specifically?
Right now he's got a mild concussion.
DeAndre Baker got his first start over there at corner. What is his skill set? Like, what does he bring to the table as a cornerback?
Really a fast guy. He's got long arms, reach, got good size, and he's since camp played with a lot more physical toughness. That's what we didn't see in the spring from him was the physical tackling. And I think he's bought into the fact that he won't play if he doesn't tackle, and he's done more and more of that. He got a lot better at it during fall camp. And to be honest with you, I told y'all that kid had a really good fall camp, and we wanted to play him in some other games. We just never got an opportunity, and he's getting his opportunity now.
Was getting more physical why he was able to then earn that job?
Well, it's that, and just got an opportunity because other guys did make some plays. But yeah, he earned the physicality through his practice.
When he makes a play like he did on Hurd, where he just doesn't give up on, is that one of those types that you highlight, in film on Monday?
Yeah, we made a point to bring that up because I thought Coach Tucker did a great job the Ole Miss game. He had a chance to get Chad Kelly on the ground right before he scored on the long run. He maybe could have got him, maybe couldn't have it if he had dove. He might have got him. I thought Coach Tucker made a great point in the defensive meeting about never giving up and fighting to the very end to knock him out. And then the next week, the almost exact same play happens, and he hits the guy at the goal line and ends up getting a fumble. So it was a good lesson learned, and the kid learned from it.
Kirby, I think you were still at Alabama doing bowl stuff or playoff stuff when Riley Ridley came and visited and then enrolled pretty fast. What was that like to, I guess you did meet with him during that time, right?
I don't remember how that went down. I don't remember if I think when he came and visited, he ended up almost enrolling. So school was about to start.
Yeah.
So it was a deal where it was really close to school starting. But yeah, it was really quick turnaround. It was a deal where we had some people that knew him. He had reached out, knew his brother. His brother came to me and said that he really wanted to come to Georgia. And I said, absolutely, we'd like to take him. So the connection came through his brother and I, but then also through Coley, who knew him too. So I don't exactly remember the timing though.
How would you say he's like or different than Calvin?
I'll be unfair to Calvin. He likes contact a little more. I mean, they're both fun-loving kids. They love to practice. They always got a smile on their face. They compete hard. They love football. That's the similarity. But with the way they're different, he's a little different build. You know, he's a little bigger. He's a little tougher. He likes to play on special teams and hit people, and Calvin returns the ball. You know.
You mentioned how hard it can be for defenders in inclement weather. What can you do in preparation to get them ready for something like that?
Keep their feet under them. You know, just make sure they understand that when their feet get outside the framework of their body, they slip. So they got to take short steps, keep the cleats under them, keep the cleats in the ground, that kind of thing.
How would you assess the performance of your wide receivers from Ole Miss to Tennessee?
Well, we caught balls and made some plays. I thought the biggest thing that improved was the physicality, and that we had to challenge them every day in practice, just like we did today, to be contact tough. And there's not a lot of big guys out there at wide receiver. There's not a lot of big DBs out there, so we have to really emphasize the physical part of it and hitting each other and playing with toughness. I thought that part improved, and they made some plays when they had to. You know, we dropped some Ole Miss that we should have caught.
How do you prepare to face two different quarterbacks where one's more of a pocket passer and the other one can take off?
Well, you prepare by the plays you run with your scout team. You know, we have different kind of quarterbacks on the scout team. We got pocket quarterbacks, we got scramblers, we got a really good athlete over there that can run some gun runs and things like that. So I think it's really important to your program that you have guys on your team that can do different pictures for you. So we have a couple guys that get different looks over there and do a good job.
I probably should rephrase that a little bit better. When one quarterback comes out, are you expecting them to do something versus when the other one comes out?
Sure, I think both their quarterbacks have a little difference. You know, Perry Orth can run the ball. He's a good runner. He's a good athlete. He just can throw the ball in the pocket too. The other kid's a lot faster, but I'm not expecting it. It's not like they have two different offenses. They got a mature kid who's played a bunch of games, and they've got a kid that hasn't played as many games, kind of similar to us, but they're both pretty good athletes.
If come sloppy game, you know, wet and everything like that, does that change the way with Nick dealing with the things that he's dealt with, the way you like to use him?
I don't know. You know, I really think you have to wait and see. I certainly think that, you know, Nick likes a downhill style running game. There's no hiding that fact. You know, it comes down to whether or not we've got the power to do that. You know, the ability to move people and do that. You know, I don't know. I think it would depend on the situation, depend on how we're playing.
Have you seen enough of him in practice this week to feel pretty good about it?
Yeah,
the way he's playing now?
It seems like he's moving around good, and he's gone against us some and taking reps, so he looks pretty good.
Kirby, I know you've known Will for a good while. How long have you known the part of him that's called Coach Boone?
I don't know if I know Coach Boone. I have not. I haven't been on staff with Will since Coach Boone was invented, so I don't. I think he went to Coach Boone in Auburn, and I was at the Dolphins at the time, and I had come there after he left, so I don't see that side of him much.
You're saying he became a little bit more fiery as his career went on?
Well, no, he was fiery the whole time, but that I guess the whatever happened, wherever the quote came from, wherever the soundbite came from, happened after I coached with him. But you know, he's always been fiery. There's some folks at Iowa State that can tell you some stories about fiery. He's always been fiery.
Is he that way on the golf course?
He don't play golf much.
Kirby, what's your philosophy on speaking publicly about your players, like in terms of criticizing them? You know, have you come into this with any kind of philosophy on how you want to handle that?
No, I think honesty is the best policy as far as if you ask me how a player's doing, I think I should tell you how he's doing, and I'll tell him the same. So that's kind of my policy on how they're doing. I think it's ever good to be openly critical of a college athlete. I think it's good to be honest though if they're not performing to the standard that I think they should. But I'm always open and honest with our kids. If any one of them wants to know why they're not playing, they come talk to me and we talk about it. We have a good relationship.
Is any part of it motivation through the media, or is it just answering a question from one of us?
I don't know. I think I'd leave that for y'all to judge. I mean, I don't think as many kids look at the stuff as you think they do. But if they read that we're challenging them physically, then we probably are challenging them physically to their face. So they already know that. So they know it's an honest opinion. It's not a motivating tactic. It's just honesty. And I just think that when you're honest with players, they trust you more. So I would rather just tell them exactly like I feel.
When it comes to this game, is there an ideal scenario in terms of when you'd like to know when there is a decision made, or just as, like you said?
It's out of my hands. So, I mean, yeah, I'd like to know right now, to feel comfortable about it, but I know that I won't. It'll be determined by the steps that are taken and the progress of the hurricane. I mean, I can't control that. I'm focused on getting our kickoff coverage team better and improving and going to study third down now. I mean, that's all I can think about right now.
Last question. Back to Coach Muschamp just a little bit. What was y'all's relationship like with your year at Georgia together? Was it kind of mentor-mentee or something different?
I didn't really know Will, because Will was a fifth-year senior and I was a first-year freshman. So I was the little prick on the scout team running around. He was big man on campus, and I was shaved head freshman. So we didn't hang out.
Thank you.